Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
All right, guys, so
Know that they ride or die.
oh, this is me fired up. You know, you guys have watched this very short period of time. I mean, this is the fourth Matters of the Mind episode. And let me just say this really quick. Mental health is super, super important. If you struggle or are struggling with the thoughts that you're having in your mind, if they're positive and negative, if they're rapidly going back and forth, if you can't get out of focus on the negative things that are going on, if you are having random thoughts you just can't process or think through, please, I feel like I'm going to look for like a crisis hotline or something. I'll put that in the link in the description. But 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been here. A little over 2 years ago, a friend taking his life saved my own. Let me just start with saying that, like, straight away. Shout out to Justin. His name is Chachi. I'm not going to go into that story right now, but here's the thing. The realization at that point in time to now has been, like I had already, for those of you that have followed like my nutrition keto journey, most of you know I've lost over 150 pounds, changing my nutrition. And even after that, there were so many other things processed or having to process. My point in saying all of those things is, I told you it's tough to hit record, stare into a camera, and talk to you guys. But at the same time, the matters of the mind, the whole reason that that's the topic is because it helps stimulate thought, but it also helps get it out of my head. Because if I talk about it and I say it out loud, I can hear it. And that allows me to process it more and further. So all of that said, I feel like I say that a lot, but I talk about NeoVision. You've heard me talk about it briefly, and you've heard me talk about marketing and sales. And the reality is, I crush it. There's no one that's worked with me, sales related, business development related, that can't vouch for the fact that I crush it. I'm a sales guy through and through. I have always been a sales guy through and through. Before I ever took my first sales course and sat down and had anyone teach me about what sales was, I have always been a sales guy. Some people say salespeople are natural. It's the most unnatural thing I've ever had to do. God, there's like so many things rushing to my head right now. Most people think I'm extroverted. If you ask my family, they'd probably tell you I was extroverted. I'm not. I would rather sit in the dark by myself and just chill out. It energizes me. That energizes me. It doesn't mean that I can't find good energy around people, but being around people for the majority of my life has been really draining. And the reason for that is because I've always felt like I had to sell myself. I think through business constantly. I'm thinking through business processes constantly and how to market and how to come to market and how to grow. And I'm looking at analytics, and I do all of these things for all of my clients and business in general, right? But I've been doing that for myself my whole life. Telling you and sitting here saying that I read people and try to figure out pain points, I do it instantly. I'm not going to share everything about my background because it's not necessary. But I'm telling you that my entire life I've done that instantly. I have walked in a room and had people look at me a certain type of way and then figured out how to take the look and the perception that they had and adjust it instantly. I've taken interviews, people that Alistair Hamilton Johnson is coming to interview today. Do you think I look like this? Come on, be honest with yourself. Do you think Alistair Hamilton Johnson looks like this? I mean, I do. But do you know how many interviews in corporate America I attended as Alistair Hamilton Johnson when I walked in the room and people lost their mind? Because you could just see it. It's like a ghost leaving their face. And it's been my life. Some of you watch this and you say, man, he articulates his words so well. You could probably pick a random word in the dictionary and ask me what the definition of it was, and I could tell you. It's because that's how my parents raised me. That's who I had to sell to be accepted everywhere. This is not a race video. It's a perspective video. It's a perception video. It's a human understanding video. What I'm trying to express to you is I'm so done selling NeoVision. I have invested everything into NeoVision, literally. And when I say that, I need you to understand something. NeoVision's 100% objective human understanding. But the reason that it's mine, the reason that it's so important to me, the reason that it's my heart and soul is because I spent my entire life not being understood. I'm gonna do a video, and this all was stimulated from me being able to speak to this camera, and you guys are listening to it, and Josh, and those that have commented and said things, and just, man, it's caused just thought, right? So my whole life I've had to sell myself. When I think about this product of human understanding, I can't tell you how many different landing pages, websites, email copies, email generations, automations have been set up around the market position of NeoVision for human understanding as it relates to everything, right? It's not just a tool for hiring. It's not just a tool for finding people. It's not just a tool for building teams. It's a way to take the subjection, the subconscious, and our own past experiences out of the equation of understanding the people we're in front of and dealing with. Because my entire life, I haven't had that. I have been selling people on why I should be hired, on why I should be a friend, on why I should be a good sibling, on why I should be a spouse, a boyfriend. Like, my goodness, man. I realized that the selling point of the software is the sharing of who I am. Because that's the reason it exists. If you can understand the reality of how people look at me in a coffee shop, covered in tattoos, versus how they look at me at a conference where I'm wearing one of my custom suits with my name embossed on the inside, or how it looks to go to the top floor, my penthouse apartment, and have people that I live with look at me just as I am and think I'm here to deliver a package. I live in one of the largest units in the building. People have to learn how to really understand humans without the subjection involved. I love dogs because they don't think through all of that. Their memory is short, trainability is easy, and their desire to just be the best version of whatever you want them to be is absolutely theirs. They want to do it. They're all in. That's where their loyalty lies. Us as individuals, we don't do that. We don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I said this once and I'll say this all the time. I walk past the homeless people that live in tents here, and sometimes I envy them. Does that sound crazy? Sometimes I walk by the people that live in the tents and I envy them, because I'm thinking to myself, you guys are making your absolute own choices. What you're doing right now, all day long, is absolutely whatever you choose. I look at some of those people, not all of them, obviously, right? Like there are obviously people that don't want to be there, even though everyone that's there made the choice and the choices to be there. But my point is that sometimes I look at them and I think, they're not stressing this, they're not stressing that. They're doing whatever they want to do right now in this moment, whatever that may be. I'm a fool for looking at them and feeling pity, because, man, they're literally doing whatever they want, whenever they want to. Now, there's obviously a flip side of that, right? Like people that have housing crises, and like, I'm not trying to say everyone that's homeless deserves to be or wants to be homeless. That's not my point in this. What I'm saying though is that the pressures and the things that I have felt personally on my life that weigh on my mind, that I don't share, that I deal with on a regular basis, that I don't express, that I see differently than anyone else, because it's my own unique life. The things that are going on right now in our society, you know, I said it in episode 2 where I was talking about people making choices and the vaccines and the mask and the no mask, but it's all the same. You know, like the subconscious that we're running through in our heads when we look at people and view people instantly is crazy. I'm not going to sit here and name drop people, but there's someone that lives in my building. He's young, super young. And he makes more money in 1 year than some people will ever make in their entire life, no matter how hard they try. And I mean, he's literally just able to drink now. If you saw him out, you would have no idea. And I thought about it in the sense of what they do for a living. And I'm like, man, if they were having like a summer camp or something, right? Or whatever, based on what they do. And they said, hey, this person's in attendance. Everybody would sign up. I mean, everybody would sign up. But if this individual took the approach of trying to convince them the features, the benefits, and the advantages of attending a camp with this said individual, and took the traditional marketing approach and strategy to come to market with this camp, I guarantee unequivocally it wouldn't have the same turnout. That in and of itself is a problem. The reason it's a problem is because that means that subjection is being placed higher than objection. Meaning if I lay out the facts, just the facts of the information that's going to be discussed at said camp, objectively, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, okay, cool. That's great. It's really good information. Time frame, person's been doing this for this long. You're like, okay, cool. Objective, just the facts. Features, benefits, advantages. The sales cycle, the marketing thing, business mind. You know there's going to be people, if you called them and said, hey, I've got this amazing summer camp I want you to attend. I'm not interested. That's what would happen. Right? Subconsciously, they can't be bothered with whatever the phone call's about. Again, just presenting the facts. Maybe someone says, yeah, tell me about it. You don't say who's hosting the camp, who's there, or whatever. You just say, okay, cool, yeah, I'm all in. Here's the problem with that. If I send you a resume, or if I sell you about all of the things that I've done and this, that, and the other thing, before you think about it, before you hear it, before you take all that objection, you're subjectively thinking about all of these other things that make what I'm saying relative or not relative. And that, in the human mind and understanding people, is the problem. What if I told you the individual I was speaking of was Trae Young in the Atlantic Hawks? He's young, right? What is he, 23? So if Trae Young was having a summer camp for basketball, it's not the person I'm speaking to, but or speaking about. But if Trae Young was having a summer camp for basketball, and he said, Trae Young summer camp, sign up now. It's $25 a head. People would be flying their children out from California, from other parts of the world to attend his summer camp. Now, let's say he started playing basketball at 12. I don't know. I'm just talking, right? So I have no idea. You could fact check me and put it in the comments. I don't know. I don't care. But let's say Trae Young's he's been playing basketball since he was 10 and he's 23. 13 years. Okay? Trae Young's been playing basketball for 13 years. So if you just put on the flyer or on this thing, we have a seasoned basketball player who has mastered the art of basketball in the last 13 years, dedicating his life to the sport. He'd like to teach your children how to see the game from a different level and perspective by running them through a course or a camp filled with different courses, gameplay, blah, 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 and tournaments in order to help them be their best self. Right? Like that would be the objective marketing feature benefit advantage. You know, help them accelerate their career at a higher rate, blah, 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 blah. Still $25 a head. Free. It's free. You're not sending your kid. You're thinking about it. And you're like, hey, you know what? I know who could use this. Nancy over down in blah, blah, blah. You know, she's had a hard time and she'd love to send her kid to camp. It's a free camp. I'll tell her about it. You may consider it. You may ask yourself the question, who's the person running the camp? Sorry, it's a secret. If we did this as an actual experiment, right? If we put this, the reality would be a lot of you wouldn't send your kid. Now, if we said Trae Young's summer camp, $250, first 1,000 people that sign up, you would break the internet. The server hosting the site would go down because so many people would be trying to get into it because, oh my God, it's Trae Young from the Atlanta Hawks. If it was Trae Young's summer camp for basketball and all he actually did was turn on classic ESPN sport clips and watch old videos of Pistol Pete, didn't do any of the other things that the objective ad said, you'd be so happy that your child spent the time and the money with blah, 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 and hope they glean some kind of information like through Osmo or something. That's my life, people. That's my life. The reality is that I have human understanding and it's objective, and I'm going to share it with everyone and anyone that wants to take the time to adjust the way that they think. But I'm no longer going to sell it based on the features, the benefits, and the advantages. I'm going to tell you, I'm me. You're looking at me. You're viewing me. People make and decide things before understanding who I am, and they have always. I'm going to reveal those things in reality. I'm going to show it. I'm going to make it super clear. But thank you guys. The whole point of this is for me to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me this platform to talk and process my thoughts. I do share some of these things with people that are close around me, where I talk through things like people asking me about delivering packages or wanting. It blows my mind, people. It really does. But I'm going to just share myself transparently, as I said I was going to try to do in this whole thing, in this whole process. I appreciate it because the transparency and me sharing myself has allowed me to realize I'm done doing business the way I've always done business, at least for myself. The information that I have, the success that I've had in understanding the markets and reading and all those things, the value will forever be there. But I'm going to send you a message or an email, or you're going to hear from me, or you're going to see a video like this, and it's going to be your responsibility to take action in your life. I don't know if it's for you or your business or your nutrition or whatever it is, whatever. But I'm done. I'm done selling people on me. I'm done selling people on the changes they need to make or the changes that they should make. I'm tired of all of it. I am going to freely be my authentic self with you on all platforms. I recorded this snippet earlier. The thing that stemmed me here right now recording this video was me waking up at, I don't know, it was like 4:30. And I was like, oh man, I didn't take my storyline from my Facebook and my Instagram and throw it up on my LinkedIn. And so that's what I was doing. I was sitting outside on my balcony. It's just the temperature here right now, like at the 4 to 6 a.m. range, is awesome, and it's still dark outside and cool. And so I'm sitting here posting the stuff up on my LinkedIn, and then I deleted it all. And I deleted it all because I was thinking to myself, man, what are people going to think on LinkedIn and this corporate platform if I'm out walking my dog and talking about the fact that I got the next episode up and blah, blah, blah. And that's when it hit me. Those are the things I'm constantly thinking about. What are you thinking of me right now? Looking at me in this keto brick shirt. Shout out to Robert Sykes, by the way. All of this, all of me recording and being in front of people started because this guy, Robert Sykes, encouraged me to start a podcast called The Keto Matrix. And I know that podcast is not active anymore. New one's coming out, by the way. Conversations with Friends by Neo. So look out for that. But my point in all that is I deleted all those things, and it made me shift and realize, bro, you have to just be yourself and open people's mind and eyes to where they need to be. We need to take an objective approach when we look at people. In the grocery store, in the coffee shops, the streets, apartment complexes, buildings, everywhere. We have all this stuff going on in the country right now with the vaccine, the pandemic, mass and no mass, people being shot and killed by police, people thinking that defunding the police is an actual solution. Just stupid on a whole nother level. But there's absolutely reform that needs to happen. And it's not in one part or one aspect. I think that's the confusion that drives me insane, is everyone's looking at one thing or another thing. Is it healthcare? Or is it the freedom of choice and rights? Is it, race? And is it the police? Is it their tactics? Let me just explain to you one thing really quick about police. Your average law enforcement officer is asked to do way more than they've ever been trained for. Way more than they have ever been trained for. There are very few agencies in this country that spend the time to actually train their police officers before handing them a badge and a gun and telling them to go put their life on the line. So before you ever question the tactics of a police officer, just realize that they're literally brave. And I don't mean brave because they're actually brave. I mean brave because they're put in a position that they haven't even been trained to be in. They haven't been exposed to. And then they're going to protect and save you. So think about that. I'm not saying all cops are great, because I I have my own list of stories on that stuff, let me just tell you. But again, objection. You have got to take the subjection, the pain, the weight of your life that you've lived and the things you've been exposed to and shed them immediately, because it's blocking your ability to view clearly life. And that's just real. I'm going through the process, people, of continuing to open myself up, peel back the layers, and live my best life being 100% and completely freely myself. Come along for the journey. I'm going to have links for NeoVision, literally human resources, marketing, teaching, I don't care what it is, school, sports, just trying to understand your clients and how you interact with them, life coaching, career coaching, all of those things. If you want to objectively understand people because you realize, damn, I did just look at this guy sitting in front of a camera with this hat on, and I didn't pay attention to the detail that the logo that's on my hat happens to be another one of my businesses. It's Precedent Canine. But you don't see that when you're out and about. You would just look at this tatted individual in a t-shirt and think, oh, he's some kind of whatever. I don't know. If you want to understand humans more, click the link, NeoVision AI. Either contact the form. My Calendly is on there. Jump on my calendar. I'll take you through a demo personally. But thank you guys for allowing me this platform. Comment below your own experiences and thought processes, from mental health to how you've been positioned or judged, how you've judged others, any of those things. I appreciate it. Be new. You don't have to be the way you were yesterday or 10 minutes ago or even from before watching this video. Be you. If you've never been yourself before, maybe you're in the closet and you haven't come out about whatever, do it. Maybe you have a crush on someone and you just haven't told them. I don't know how small it is. I don't know how great it is, but be you. The pressure and the weight of not being yourself will kill you. It almost killed me. Be Neo. Neo doesn't mean I'm the chosen one. It just means that every day I have the choice to be who I am and continue to open my mind and my thoughts to what can be if I'm open to taking it in. So be new, be you, be Neo. Peace.
Know that they ride or die.